News from Parliament now. Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan appeared before Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts today, or Scopa. This follows the damning allegations by former Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter during an eNCA interview. Some of the allegations that he made in that interview included the two high-ranking politicians were involved in crime and corruption at the power utility. Our reporter Heidi Giokos has been following the story. She joins me in studio now. Hello, Heidi. Always great to chat to you. So, Pravin Gordhan has already said publicly, I am the minister that Andre de Ruyter came to say, I've heard they're two high-profile politicians who are corrupt and involved with Eskom. So that is already out there. Did he talk today about who those two politicians are? Was he questioned about it? We saw when Andre de Ruyter appeared at Scopa, he was pushed really hard by the committee to mention those names, and he absolutely refused. How did Pravin Gordhan's day go?
Well, it was a lot of the blame game, Sally, and we are none the wiser as to who exactly these two officials are, be it politicians or government officials allegedly involved in corrupt activities at the power utility. The minister almost saying he does not want to make mention of those two names presented to him by then Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter because there is no actual evidence of those allegations, and the minister feels as though mentioning this would almost be premature and irresponsible. But I think most of what happened today was the minister really taking a jab at the former CEO Andre de Ruyter, especially because his new book has just been launched, and the minister basically saying that Andre de Ruyter was focusing on writing a book instead of really dealing with the alleged corruption at Eskom. We all know that there has been corruption at Eskom for some time. It's nothing new. It was there before Andre de Ruyter. It's going to be there after Andre de Ruyter. We know what's going on at the power utility. But the minister basically saying that it's unacceptable for Andre de Ruyter to be making all sorts of allegations and bringing the minister into the middle of all of this. I think the biggest issue here also was really getting to the bottom of the issue around the allegation of officials saying we must also eat a little, basically saying allow there to be corruption because we also want to be part of what's going on here. The minister saying he doesn't stand for corruption, but he did not dismiss the fact that he is fully aware, just as the South African public, that there are ANC officials involved or were involved in corrupt activities at the power utility. Some are currently in court. He also spoke about private companies also being involved in all of this. Let's listen to what the minister had to say about the corruption and these allegations at Eskom.
Eskom is not just a feeding trough for the ANC, as the former CEO alleges. There have been instances where there's been a link, and one can't deny that, between institutions like Chancellor House and some of the projects that have been undertaken. But at the same time, it's important to recognize that multinational institutions like ABB, SAP, local companies like Trillion, and the construction companies with whom some litigation and some negotiations are still continuing between Eskom and themselves and a plethora of others, and have been feeding off the Eskom situation itself. There certainly needs to be a separation, in my view, between the state and the party, and hopefully we will move more in that direction in the coming years.
Yeah, I think that info strap we had was actually incorrect. We've just taken it down because he's not denying that the ANC or certain people in the ANC may have been involved in corruption. What he's saying is there was a lot of people with their hands in the till and we're getting through it. But he's got a real grudge against Andre de Ruyter. He's really angry. He's angry about the interview that he did with Annika Larsen, and he's angry about the book. Now, didn't he recommend Andre de Ruyter? He was a backer of his for quite some time, so things have changed.
certainly things have really taken a turn, and the minister saying that he was very shocked about the interview that Andre de Ruyter did with our colleague Annika Larsen, saying that he had actually sent a clip to Andre de Ruyter expecting a response from him, but he did not receive that response. The minister again, Sally, really taking a jab at Andre de Ruyter, saying that Andre de Ruyter should have focused on his responsibilities as an Eskom CEO. He even went as far as attacking his role as a CEO even when he was at Nampak, when Andre de Ruyter was at Nampak, saying he left a mess there, and then there was an issue at Eskom, and he's trying to cover that up by writing a book. I think also what's alarming is the fact that the minister is disputing the fact that he was informed about an internal intelligence investigation that was instituted by Andre de Ruyter. The minister saying he didn't know anything about it. He only found out about it 6 months later. And the minister saying he didn't even know it was funded by...
Just to interject,
yeah.
That contradicts or seems to contradict what the former Eskom chair, Malakapura Makgoba, told Scopa last week, where he said the minister did know. But Pravin Gordhan is saying, no, he's confused.
The minister actually said that the former board chair, Professor Makgoba, actually misled the committee, and he's clearly confused about what the minister knew and the knowledge around that intelligence report and that intelligence investigation. So once again, the minister saying, I have no recollection, I have no understanding of what was going on. I was only told 6 months into that. And the minister saying he should have focused on his responsibilities as a CEO and not had meetings that, and I quote what the minister says, that politicians should have been having when it came to matters related to Eskom. But let's listen to what the minister had to say around that interview conducted and how he was not happy.
The few people who've gone through the book or his various articles, which I haven't, indicate this in very simple terms. The only hero in South Africa is de Ruyter. The rest of us are all fools. And only he knows what's best. Only he knows, like I said earlier on, what corporate governance means and doesn't mean. And the rest of us are still in our nappies, apparently, and need to just stand at his feet and learn from him. So there's certainly a case to be made to suggest that. Did I engage with him after the interview? I was shocked at the interview and its content. Somebody sent me a clip. I forwarded the clip to him, expecting a response. No response came.
Yeah, so he's angry with Andre de Ruyter. And de Ruyter is the man that some people see as the whistleblower. You were telling me that the DA was saying to Pravin Gordhan, you're shooting the messenger. And he says, no, I'm not. At the same time, the SIU is looking into whether de Ruyter breached any of his contractual obligations as CEO by giving that interview and by releasing this book. So this is, for now, where we're at with Scopa. Next Friday, not this Friday,
yes.
Next Friday, it's Sidney Mufamadi, who is, of course, the President's security advisor. He will be taking the stand. And what we know about him, of course, is that it was him, along with Pravin Gordhan, that Andre de Ruyter spoke to about those two politicians.
Yes, that's
Heidi,
correct. So
thank
there will
you.
be, next week Friday, it will be another hot session.
Absolutely. It is fascinating indeed. And thank you so much, our reporter, Heidi Giokos.